What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Boogie2988 coming at you live once again through the power of the internet. I wanted to do a bit of a weight loss update today, but let me warn you, this is going to be one of these old school rambling videos. I don't want to do a bunch of editing. I don't want to try to make it brief or anything like that. I'm just going to talk a lot and about a variety of different things that is probably going to have no editing, and it's just going to be me whining a lot. So nothing profound in this video. If you feel you need to skip it, feel free. But if you've been looking for a weight loss update, I think this is a pretty good one because today marks the end of January, and we just finished my monthly visit to my weight loss doctor. And I got some good news and I got some bad news. The good news is really good. Currently today, I weigh 520 pounds. I almost said 420 there, but 520 pounds. And that is pretty damn good, knowing my biggest was ever 587. And 520 pounds is the smallest I've been since I really started taking my health seriously 4 years ago, seeing doctors frequently, trying to take my medications, trying to get a little exercise, try to cut back on what I've been eating. It's been a slow process and a frustrating process, and many people would say that I have entirely failed, and they are right in a lot of ways, so I'm not going to argue with that. I have a lot of reasons for that, but none of them are excuses. I should have lost the weight, and I should still lose the weight. I need to do the work, and even though the work is a little extra hard for me, it doesn't change the fact that it's got to get done. And I'm proud of the work that I've done so far to get me to 520. That's 8 pounds smaller than I was 6 years ago when I met my wife. That's pretty great, and I'm pretty happy with it. It's also the smallest I've been without any gimmicks, without any taking water pills to try to get water off of me, or trying exclusive diets, or trying some sort of gimmicky diet, you know, the South Beaches and the ketos. That stuff does work, and for temporary weight loss, it's amazing, and I may use those tools again in my future, but what I've done to achieve this is some small, minor changes in my life that I could do for the rest of my life that I'm happy with, that leave me mentally and physically sated and fulfilled, whereas a lot of those crash diets simply didn't do that. And I'm about to list a lot of different reasons for the fact that I haven't succeeded in the way that I wanted to, but once again, please keep in mind, they are not excuses. They're just reasons. The first of which is exercise is nearly impossible for me. I can barely sit comfortably anymore, especially with this injured butt. If you guys didn't see that video, check it out. It's on the channel. But I'm still recovering from this. We got weeks of recovery left for this, including a minor surgery to get rid of it upcoming. And that's going to keep being a pain in the butt. But on top of that, you got the shattered back, which we still don't know exactly what's wrong with it. The ruined knees. The lymphedema, everything else working against me. That makes it very difficult to get any exercise. Doesn't mean I can't still do upper body stuff, and doesn't mean I shouldn't be, and doesn't mean I won't continue to do it. But it's difficult to get to the gym. It's definitely difficult to get to a pool. A pool is where I originally injured my back to begin with. And then you have the eating disorder, which again, if those of you who follow me know that I have PTSD, diagnosed clinically. That's not a self-diagnosis. That's an actual diagnosis. I have other issues with anxiety on top of that, social anxiety, so on and so forth. Chronic depression on top of that. And the way that I self-medicate with that stuff has always been food. Now, for the last 3 months, this marks the 3rd month anniversary, I have been on a weight loss medication that I do not recommend because it is extremely dangerous. In fact, when my doctor recommended it to me, he said, it's so dangerous that you really need to consider, really consider the options. And I'm like, well, I don't like those side effects. I shouldn't take them. He said, well, you're already suffering from a side effect of morbid obesity. And you know what another side effect of morbid obesity is? Death. So these side effects are better than death. I'm like, you got it. Like, that's the way to convince you to do it, right? But I'm glad that he did, because over the last 3 months, I've lost 5 or 10 pounds every month while still satiating myself and still feeling mentally healthy. What this pill does is it does 2 things. Number one, it really pushes back my appetite. I'm able to push back a plate of food that I haven't finished. Even if I do order a stupid meal at a stupid restaurant that has way too many calories, I generally won't finish it. And a lot of the times when I do finish a meal, it doesn't feel as satisfying as it used to. I will tell you that I've never done a snort of cocaine in my life, a line of coke in my life, but some of the meals I used to eat felt like a snort of cocaine. I couldn't have been more jazzed after the right cheeseburger or the right whatever. I was just orgasmic. And that was the high I was always chasing. This takes that away. And because it does that, it's just not satisfying to eat unhealthy foods as much. So it's easier for me to focus on what I'm eating. And because of that, I have been able to do that better, and I'm succeeding for the first time in my life. Now, me and this weight loss doctor had established a long time ago that once I got to 480 pounds, the weight loss surgeon at his hospital would be willing to operate on me and get me gastric sleeve. So this stuff could be a little easier, a lot easier, frankly. Unfortunately, today he told me that that's not the case. So that's the bad news from the weight loss doctor. Turns out he actually wants me to be 410 pounds. And at first I just thought he moved the goalposts to try to get me to continue to lose the weight. But no, I don't think that's the case. We actually called their office and asked, and they said that was the case. So I must have always been that way, but I was confused. Now, here's the thing. I could probably go out of network to get bariatric surgery, and I probably will. Lord knows, fortunately, we can afford it thanks to the YouTube and everything else. The downside to that is when you recover from something like that, and there's a tremendous recovery from that surgery. A lot of people call it the easy way out. You've never watched somebody recover from that surgery if that's what you think, because it is definitely not the easy way out. It is definitely one of the hardest ways to achieve that, but for some people it's not much of a choice, and I think that's going to turn out to be the case for me. But if we go out of network, the recovery will have to be done with that surgeon. No other surgeon will do the recovery. None of these surgeons in Northwest Arkansas will do any of the follow-up care. So if I have to travel to Houston to get it done, then I have to recover in Houston for 6 weeks. And then on top of that, every time I need to do a follow-up visit, I have to drive 8 hours to Houston, or 9 hours to Houston, and then 9 hours back over and over and over again, 3 or 4 times a year, once a month for the first year or so, I think. Not something I can do. I can't stay in a hotel and recover there for 6 weeks. Who wouldn't want to recover their home? The good news is that's not the only surgeon in Northwest Arkansas, and maybe I won't have to get all the way down to 410, because 110 pounds is a lot. 110 pounds is a lot. And even though this medication is helping me lose 5 and 10 pounds a month, and if I really, really, really continue to cut back and continue to be comfortable and do it within a realm that keeps me from going fucking crazy, I could maybe get it down to 10 or 15 pounds a month. But even that is over a year worth of slow and steady decline, and I just don't know that I can reach that goal. So a little depressed, still reeling from that information, still frustrated by it. But maybe we'll get lucky. Maybe we'll find a surgeon locally who's willing to cut a little slack and take a little risk, and we'll see. Maybe that'll happen. And hey, if you happen to know one in the Northwest Arkansas area, have them contact me, because I will give you money. I mean, the surgeon. Maybe a finder's fee, like $50. But I've thought about this all day, and I was originally going to make a video about it as soon as I got home, but I decided to wait until I really thought this through. A couple things I want to say about this video. Number one, again, I got a lot of reasons that this stuff is hard. They're still not excuses, and they're not excuses for you. If you got the work that you need to do, you need to do it. I don't care if you have an eating disorder or you overeat like I do. I don't care if it's chronic depression. I don't care if it's kleptomania and you keep stealing stuff. I don't care if it's cocaine you're addicted to. You got to do the work, right? And I may not like it, and I may not be happy about it. In fact, it might very well make me miserable at a time I'm already pretty miserable. But you got to do the work, and I hope that you're doing it too. Secondly, please learn from my mistakes. Right now, I'm a 42-year-old man who's been stuck in bed for almost a month, and I'm in a bunch of chronic pain and a bunch of other chronic issues, some of which I don't even really talk about on YouTube. Please do the work now when you're younger instead of trying to make up for it when you're older like I am. Do the work now. Learn from my huge mistakes. It's the most important thing I can teach you. Because, your body is a temple, and your life is the only life you get. And if you're doing things that screw up your body, or you're doing things that screw up your life, you got to fix that shit. Because once it's screwed up, it's a hell of a lot harder to fix. It really is. And I know that I'm preaching to the choir. I know a lot of you are smart enough to know this already. But I wish I could go back in time and tell 20-year-old me, 30-year-old me, hell, 35-year-old me. That would be cool. But that's it. I don't know. That's the weight loss update. I'm going to try to find another surgeon in the area that's willing to work with me. If we can find one, we will. We'll get surgery this year. If not, we're going to keep going at 5 and 10 pounds a month. And that may not be a speed that everybody likes, but it's about the best I think I can achieve with this broken body and this broken brain of mine. But you know what? I'll take any small victories. It's all about small victories these days. And in this world of ours right now, it's all about small victories. And I hope you find your small victories where you can. And do me a favor. What kind of small victory have you enjoyed recently? What's going on in your life that's good? Something's got to be good. Talk about what's good in your comment section below. What's your small victory? What's the thing? Maybe even a big victory. Let me know in your comment section below. I would love to read that. And then let me know you made it all the way to the end of this self-indulgent video. Guys, as always, thanks for watching. I love you very much, and I'll speak with you again really soon.